Hi, good afternoon, class. This is the lecture for April 16th, and I'm going to be talking again about advantages and disadvantages and how to brainstorm advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so let's look at page 74 in your book. Okay, so this is the Prism book, Prism 1, page 74. Okay, in class, we are doing page 73. Okay, so I'm just moving it to the next page. Okay, so here we have another chart, and we're going to talk about technology such as the internet. So we're going to talk about the internet can affect our day-to-day lives. Okay, so here we have advantages and here we have disadvantages. Okay, so let's think about the internet. Think first, you can pause the video and think before I talk about this, but let's list some advantages of the internet. Okay, there's many advantages. I will just list 3. Information. All right, that's one advantage of the internet. We are able to send and receive information. Another advantage of the internet is communication. Okay, and let me think of a third advantage of the internet. I might say education. Okay, education. All right, so now, like we did in class, I want to give practical examples. I want to support my ideas. So, with information, what kind of information is useful on the internet? Well, there's a lot. Actually, there's too many examples. But I could say, for example, today, I looked on the internet to see the time that Target opens. Okay, all I have to do is Google it, and I see the operating hours of Target, the time that it opens. You can also find out, for example, where a place is. Okay, so let's say I want to know where the nearest gas station, for example. My car is running out of gas. Sorry, I don't have enough space. So I want to know where the nearest gas station is. Okay, so those are 2 examples of information. Okay, and these are clear, concrete examples that I use in my own life. That's how I'm going to support this. Okay, the second advantage of the internet is communication. And definitely number 1 for me is email. Okay, and right now I'm sending a lot of emails to students and colleagues, right? So that's one concrete example of communication. Another concrete example of communication would be social media, because social media is online. So now that we are stuck inside because of the coronavirus, we use social media to communicate with friends and to catch up with friends. Okay, so here I have 2 concrete examples with communication. Now, another one is education. Okay, so I might use an example of online classes, and that's very relevant now. Okay, the internet is a good tool for education because of online classes. And another idea for education would be, trying to think, research. Okay. For example, if I have a paper or an essay to write about something, like, well, for me, it would be like education philosophy, because I'm a teacher. Okay. I can research online. Okay. All right, so this is my advantage, the good things about the internet. Now, the disadvantages of using the internet. Okay. This is harder because the internet is very useful, so I have to really think about disadvantages. So I'm going to try and think of 3. Number 1, I would say, how do I word this so that you understand? I'll just put true. Okay, so do we know that the information on the internet is true? Okay, I'm trying to write and hold this at the same time, so. Valid. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, let me think here. What's another disadvantage of the internet? Okay, face-to-face communication has gone away. So we have little face-to-face communication. So that's another disadvantage. Here, I'll put this here. A third disadvantage would be, I would say real understanding. And I'll try and explain that later. Okay, so I have 3 ideas. Maybe not the best ideas because I'm thinking quickly here, but let's go back to the first one. Is the information that I'm looking at online true? Does it have, can it be proven? Okay, and the example that I would use is actually the COVID-19 information online. Some of it is true and it's documented, and doctors have given us facts, but other information is not true about the virus, and we have to be careful about that. So that would be my example. Face-to-face communication. Okay, there's very little face-to-face communication because over here, of course, I was talking about communication with emails and students and stuff. So I'm giving a disadvantage. So a lot of people now find it difficult to clearly communicate face-to-face. Okay, face-to-face. And so they can become lonely. Okay, so lonely, that would be my concrete example. Okay, a real understanding of information. Okay. Now, what I mean by this is if you have a question, let's say you have a question about a topic. Let's say let's say our topic is how, let's say I have a question about how to cook spaghetti. Bad example, but it will prove my point. How to cook spaghetti. So maybe I want to cook something and I go online and there's so many different ideas or recipes, and I don't really have a 100% understanding of how to cook one dish because there's many. So there's too much online, in other words. Okay. Okay. So those are my advantages and disadvantages. Okay. Now I'm looking at our, okay, so on the 21st, this is our schedule for this week. The presentation is due on the 21st. So what I'm going to do is record and Flipgrid a presentation about the internet, so it gives you some ideas. Now in this book I also found, I did not give this as an assignment, but page 75, okay, these words are really important and good to learn. So try to learn these words, and if you complete this exercise and do the listening, it will help you with your presentation. I should have assigned all of this for homework, but I didn't, and you're probably happy about that, but I would do it anyway if you have time. All right, so I'll see you tomorrow during class, and remember that tomorrow I'm going to split the class, so half of you will meet at one time and then the other half will meet at the other time, and I'll write your names in the email. Okay, have a good day. Bye.